My name's Eric Small. This video is one of a set of short tutorials directed towards the new Cinema 4D user. These tutorials will be brief overviews of various aspects and concepts within the software. In this one, we're going to talk about deformers. With the deformers in Cinema 4D, you can use them to deform geometry. That geometry can be primitives, it can be polygons, and just any sort of geometry. With this cylinder right here, I'm going to add a bend deformer. And we can do that either by tearing off the menu like I did earlier in this, or we can click up here and just create the bend deformer. Now, if we immediately start to adjust the settings of the bend deformer, we see that the bend deformer is starting to do something, but the geometry is not actually being deformed at all of the cylinder. We need to leverage the power of the parent-child relationships that Cinema 4D uses by taking the deformer and placing it as a child of the cylinder. And now, as soon as we have the deformer below the geometry to be deformed, we get the deformation occurring. Likewise, we can make the deformer a sibling of the geometry if the geometry has a parent container. If we create a null object and we make the cylinder a child of the null and the bend deformer a child of the null, we see that we have the ability to deform this geometry. Likewise, if we have additional objects beneath this topmost null as a sibling of the deformer, such as if we were to add, let's say, a capsule object. With this one, if we initially set this in here like so, within the viewport, the bend deformer does not affect it. But if we drop this capsule to be a sibling of the bend and the cylinder, we see that the bend deformer is deforming both the cylinder and the capsule. Likewise, with most of the other deformers in this menu here, operate on the same way. They need to be placed as children of the geometry to be deformed, or as siblings of the geometry to be deformed, as long as the deformer and the geometry are contained beneath another object, such as a null object.